Is rent due in April? And what about mortgages? Let's find out. Hi guys, Mike Rockman here from Compass. And I know that many of you have been asking me about, do I still have to pay rent this month? What about mortgages? Are there anything coming down the pipeline in the future? So let's get into that right now. Let's talk about rents. So short answer to the question of, do you have to pay rent this month? The answer is yes. Month for April, technically it is still due. Now, if you've been affected by the virus, whether you lost your job or you're sick or you have to be taking care of somebody, whatever the case is, you do technically still need to pay rent. Here is some things that could help you. First, there is a moratorium on evictions, a 90-day moratorium on evictions, 3 months. Technically, they cannot kick you out of the apartment. So if you just, on April 1st, stop paying rent, April, May, June, you can technically not pay anything, and you won't be able to, the landlord won't be able to bring you to court. Now, this doesn't mean they can't file against you. They're still taking those cases on. They're just holding them in line. And as soon as the moratorium is lifted, which eventually we will get past this problem. And I mean, if we don't, we have bigger problems than just an eviction for somebody. So eventually we'll get past this, and eventually you will stand up in front of the judge and make your case. Now, you could end up being in a situation where you'll still owe that rent, or you might be in a situation where the judge will rule and say, you have an extra 30 days, the virus epidemic is over, you have 30 days and you have to move out. So at that point, it will be the decision of the judge. So it's really difficult to say and predict what will happen. Okay, you should talk to your attorneys if you have any further questions on that. But technically, you have 90 days where the moratorium on evictions is inactive, so that should help. At least you won't end up on the street. The recommendation here, additionally, all of you have a security deposit with your landlord. It's typically 1-1 security deposit. Some of you might even have a larger security deposit. So that's viable cash that's sitting in an escrow. You could negotiate with your landlord to use it. And here's how an example. For April, you can negotiate to use half of the security deposit, and you'll pay the other half, and there is April's month's rent. For May, you can negotiate to do the same exact thing. Use the other half, and then you'll contribute the rest. And reassess every 30 days. See what's going on by mid-April regarding May. Is your job back? Are you making any money? Is the virus getting worse? Like, what's the situation? How can you keep moving forward? The third recommendation, no matter what you negotiate with your landlord, and I hope that you do, and keep in mind, my reaction when speaking to the landlords that I've been working with, they're all incredibly concerned, first of all, for the city. They are concerned for people and as human beings, and so most likely they will work something out with you. The flip side to this is not just that you're suffering financially, but the landlord will also suffer. Nobody right now is moving into the city. All the students are out. All the internship programs have been suspended or moved online. So there is all of tourism is basically done. So even if they evicted you, there's not like somebody that's going to take over the apartment right away. It's for months it's going to be vacant. So there is this human element that you can negotiate with your landlord and try to work something out. If I didn't mention it, you should have everything in writing. Whatever you discussed, make sure that you have it in writing, not just a text message. Send an email. If you've never sent an email to them, this is a great time to get their email address and send them something that just says, based on our conversation, this is what we discussed, point by point, how much I'm going to pay. Don't just say half of month's rent, say the exact amount, and the days that this transaction is occurring. And if you already know, the date that you plan on making the payments as well. So as much detail as you can, and ideally you would want them to respond and confirm. I'm not encouraging you to go meet them and sign anything. Please don't. Stay at home and stay safe. There's one bill right now that is in the works. We're not sure where it's going to go yet. Bill S-1825. Now, this is a suggested 90-day freeze or suspension on all rents for residential and commercial properties. This is a bill that's in the works. We're not sure where it's going to go yet. I'm not even sure if they're voting on it yet. It's a very complicated situation because the landlord has their own expenses, right? They have taxes, they might have a mortgage, they might have the regular bills, heat, hot water, gas, all these kind of utilities, they still need to get paid. And the landlord themselves, this might be their only source of income, and you might be the 3 or 4 apartments that they own, so they still need to make a living. The city is not sure what to do with this yet. They're not sure, are we going to just pay people's rents fully, or are we going to maybe provide them some sort of tax break for the landlords? It's not clear yet. They're still working it out. But so until that comes through, you technically have to pay rent. Regarding mortgages, the state and federal levels have been ordered to suspend mortgages, mortgage payments for all. Okay, so Fannie Mae has also said that they're going to suspend mortgage payments for multifamily owners. Okay, which is all really great. Please call your lender. You know, whether it's the private bank or you use the mortgage broker, whoever it is. Contact them and seek out additional advice and support, because even though the laws have been coming down, there's been other stipulations that certain banks are adding on regarding fees, no fees. The mandate technically is saying your mortgage is suspended, and it's going to be for 3 months, and it's going to be tacked on at the end of your mortgage lifespan. So let's say you had a year left, 12 months left on your mortgage. The next 3 months, you don't have to pay anything. It will be tacked on towards the end, which will then mean in 15 months. So an additional 3 months at the end on a 12-month is when your mortgage will be done. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, give me a call, 215-255-5235, or email at michael.rockman@compass.com. Thank you very much. Stay indoors.